Mira had never been the type to get caught up in online relationships. At 25, she prided herself on being grounded. She worked as a graphic designer from her cozy apartment in Portland, Oregon, kept a circle of close friends, and had a routine that felt safe. It was a rainy Tuesday night when she got the message. "Hey, I hope this isn't weird. I saw your art on a subreddit and wanted to say it's stunning. I'm Eli." Mira hesitated. The message had come through Reddit, of all places. The profile was minimal. A few posts about indie music, film photography, and the occasional meme. His avatar was a simple cartoon sketch of a crow. Not a red flag, just peculiar. Still, she responded, "Thanks, Eli, appreciate that. Always nice to meet a fellow fan of sad songs and analog grain." That was the beginning. What began as sporadic messaging became nightly conversations. Over the course of 2 weeks, Mira learned a lot about Eli. He lived in Toronto, was a 29-year-old software engineer, and had a golden retriever named Milo. He sent her Spotify playlists and photos of his daily life. His voice, when they moved to late-night voice calls, was warm, low, and threaded with humor. He told her things like, "I hate the way real life feels sometimes, like we're just pretending to be who people expect. And, talking to you is like finally being able to breathe." He never pressured her for anything inappropriate. In fact, he seemed careful, maybe even scared, of pushing too hard. By week 4, Mira was in deep. She didn't want to call it love, not yet. But she found herself checking her phone constantly, her stomach twisting with anticipation whenever his name popped up. Her days began and ended with him. She was falling, fast. They had talked for 6 weeks before Eli agreed to a video call. "I don't usually do this," he texted, "but I want you to see me. Just don't laugh. I haven't shaved in a while." When the screen lit up, Mira's breath caught. He was even more handsome than she imagined. Disheveled dark curls, wire-framed glasses, a shy smile. His apartment was softly lit in the background, music playing faintly. "Hey," he said. His voice felt different when his face matched it. "Hey," she replied, cheeks flushed. They talked for 3 hours that night. Afterward, Mira lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, heart thudding like she'd been on a roller coaster. It was real. He was real, wasn't he? It started subtly. He'd disappear for hours without explanation. "Sorry, long day, work's crazy." Then days. "Hey, I've been dealing with some family stuff. Didn't mean to vanish." Mira tried to be understanding. People had lives. But the pit in her stomach started growing. One night, she sent, "Are we okay? I feel like you're slipping away." Eli replied hours later, "I'm sorry. I'm just overwhelmed. You mean a lot to me, Mira. Please don't doubt that." She told herself to trust him. It was a quiet Sunday when it all unraveled. Mira had done something she swore she'd never do. She reverse image searched one of the selfies Eli had sent weeks ago. It had been bothering her. The lighting was too perfect, the quality too crisp. It felt staged. The results led to an Instagram profile for a fashion model named Luca Rains. Over 300,000 followers. Same glasses, same dog, same apartment. Her heart stuttered. No, it couldn't be. She called Eli. He didn't answer. She called again. Nothing. Then, finally, a message. "I need to explain. Please, let me explain before you block me." They finally spoke that night. No video, just voice. Eli, or whoever he was, sounded broken. "My real name is Noah. I'm 34. I live in Wisconsin. I'm not a software engineer. I don't have a dog. I don't look like Luca. I used his pictures because I was afraid you wouldn't like me." Mira couldn't breathe. "So everything you told me, was it all fake?" A pause. "No. The things I said, about how I feel, that was real. I swear to you, Mira, that part was me. The rest, I was just scared. I didn't think it would go this far." She felt like she was drowning in his voice. The same voice that had soothed her to sleep now shattered everything. "Do you even love me?" she asked, tears falling. Noah whispered, "I do. God, I do. But I don't deserve you." Mira didn't block him. Not right away. They kept talking, sporadically. He sent her a real photo of himself. Plain, awkward, eyes filled with shame. She couldn't look at it without feeling sick. Some part of her still cared. Hated herself for it. One night, after days of silence, she texted, "Why me?" His reply came instantly. "Because you saw me, even when I didn't show you who I really was." That was the last time she heard from him. No goodbye, no closure, just absence. Mira spiraled. She couldn't tell her friends. Couldn't explain the hollow in her chest to people who'd never felt love wrapped in binary code. She deleted her Reddit account. She stopped drawing. Music felt like betrayal. But slowly, painfully, she began to stitch herself back together. She started therapy. Began painting again. Darker, messier, more honest. One day, she painted a figure walking into a blizzard, their shadow stitched with cables and cords. She titled it, The Online Boyfriend. It went viral. People commented, "I feel this. This is what it's like to be ghosted by someone who never really existed." A year passed. Mira was on a new forum now, smaller, focused on digital art and emotional storytelling. She posted her new piece. A girl holding a phone, her screen glowing like a tiny sun. A message popped up. "Hey, I saw your new painting. It hit me hard. I'm Leo. Just wanted to say thanks for sharing something that raw." Mira stared at it. She hesitated, fingers hovering. Then, slowly, she replied, "Thanks, Leo. Always nice to meet someone who feels deeply too." Sometimes, late at night, Mira would wonder if Noah still watched her from afar. If he'd seen her artwork, if he knew she'd survived the storm he'd created. She hoped he found healing. Or maybe she didn't. Maybe some wounds aren't meant to be clean. But what she did know was this. She had loved someone who never really existed, and yet, the pain had been real. And love, even the false kind, leaves fingerprints on the soul. Noah hadn't meant to disappear. But shame is a heavy thing. After his last message to Mira, he stared at his screen for hours. Her silence felt deserved, but unbearable. He closed the chat, deleted the photos folder labeled Mira, and unplugged his microphone. He spent weeks in a numb haze. Work became a blur. Meals tasted like cardboard. Every time he thought about her, it was like swallowing glass. His therapist, Drive Feldman, leaned forward during one session. "You created someone you thought she could love. But what did that say about how you feel about the real you?" Noah looked away. "That I'm not enough, Doctor." Feldman scribbled something. "Then maybe it's time you tried to be enough, for you." It wasn't instant, but something shifted. Mira started using her real name on art forums again. She opened commissions, slowly rebuilt her portfolio. People noticed her style had changed. More raw, more narrative-driven. She received an email from an art magazine. They wanted to feature her story, The Online Boyfriend. The editor wrote, "There's something universal about your piece, loving someone who isn't real. It's painfully timely." She almost declined, but then she imagined the thousands of people who felt like she did. And maybe, just maybe, Noah would read it. The article went viral. Not just the painting, her story, her voice. Noah saw it a month later. He had avoided anything related to art or relationships. But one night, while doomscrolling on Twitter, a headline caught his eye. "Digital Ghosts and Pixel Love. How one artist captured the ache of being catfished." He froze. There she was, Myra's face, half-shadowed in a photo, eyes defiant. He read every word. "He told me his name was Eli. But it wasn't. He told me he loved me." That part might have been true. Noah shut his laptop, nauseous. He stayed up all night thinking about messaging her. Writing a letter. Anything. But what could he say? "Sorry I built a lie so beautiful you believed in it." Instead, he opened a blank document and started writing his own story. Mira went to Montreal for her first gallery show. It was small but intimate. Her work filled the walls. Dark blues, muted reds, gold wire etched into canvases to symbolize connection and fragility. At the center was The Online Boyfriend, surrounded by smaller pieces inspired by digital life. Message bubbles, glowing phones, silhouettes fading into static. A man approached her during the opening night. "I know this is personal," he said, "but I went through something similar. Except I was the one who pretended. Your work made me realize what I took from someone." Mira blinked. "Did you ever apologize?" she asked. He shook his head. "Too late now, but your work made me want to." She didn't say anything for a long time. Then start by forgiving yourself." It arrived 6 months later, through a secure email form on her portfolio site. The subject line read, "You never have to read this. But if you do, thank you." It was Noah. "I watched you become something more than what I broke. You became truth. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want you to know, I'm real now. I write under my name. I volunteer with teens dealing with identity issues. I don't hide anymore. What I did to you was selfish. But loving you, even through a lie, was the first time I ever felt like I could be more than who I hated being. You gave me that, even if I took everything else. I hope you keep painting. The world needs your truth. I'll never message you again after this. Just, thank you, Mira cried, not out of anger, not out of loss, but because it was finally done. Months turned into seasons. Mira's career blossomed. She gave lectures on art and digital trauma. She created a series called Ghost Threads, mixed media pieces where copper wires stretched between silhouettes, some taut, some fraying. She even dated again, carefully. There was someone, a school teacher named Jonah, who quoted poetry and never tried to be anyone but himself. It was slow, intentionally. She told him about Noah eventually. Jonah listened, then said, I think it takes strength to love, even when it breaks you. You're stronger now. And she was. Not because she'd moved on from Eli, but because she'd moved through him. 1 year after her article was published, Mira was invited to speak at a digital identity conference in Berlin. She shared a stage with experts in AI, sociology, and mental health. Her talk was titled, The Lie That Taught Me Love, Navigating Connection in a Virtual World. During the Q&A, someone asked, would you ever talk to him again? She paused, then smiled softly. I already did, in every painting I made after him. Back in Wisconsin, Noah lived a quieter life. He published essays anonymously under the pseudonym N.D. Lang. One of his most read pieces was titled, To the Girl I Never Deserved, a Digital Confession. He never watched her interviews. He never reached out again. But every so often, he'd walk past a bookstore or gallery and see her name. And he would whisper, I'm sorry, not to be forgiven, just to remember. In her third gallery exhibition, Mira showcased a new piece. It was different, vibrant, hopeful. 2 figures stood side by side, each made of shattered mirror pieces, light pouring through the cracks. Between them, no wires, only open space. She titled it, Reconnection. When asked if it was autobiographical, she said, it's not about him, or me, it's about everyone who's ever loved in the dark and stepped into the light. And somewhere, in a quiet apartment in the Midwest, Noah saw it online. He smiled, not with regret, but with peace.